So today I'm going to be showing you how to replace your wheel hub assembly on your Nissan Quest. This one's a 2005.
Hey guys, I'm Jordan and you're watching Fixbook. After watching this video, your car problems stand about as much a chance as this laptop does against my hot leg. Now, make sure you stay tuned so you can see what happened to the laptop at the end of this video. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below.
Okay guys, and here's the tools I used in today's project. So you got some PB Blaster, a liquid wrench will work. I got a torque wrench, a 32mm socket, 32mm socket, again just make sure, extended 3/8 ratchet with a 17mm and 19mm socket, a little extension there, a pair of dikes or side cutters, a big flathead screwdriver, 32-ounce hammer, a 1/2-inch drive ratchet with this big old pipe to put on the end of it, and then a pry bar is useful. You might be able to get by without it. So with all said, we'll go ahead and begin today's project.
Hey guys, important note here. Make sure when you're removing your wheel hub assembly, you first remove your wheel speed sensor, because I'm now, a couple weeks later, replacing this wheel speed sensor because I did not do that step. So this is a special learning moment, and yeah, definitely, it's just a 10mm. You'll see it in there, and just undo that bolt, pull it out, and then feel free to go on and replace that wheel hub assembly. If not, you may be buying a very expensive part. Fortunately for me, I found one for 45 bucks on eBay, and this part in the parts store was like 150 bucks. So be very careful with the sensor. So now, continuing on.
Okay guys, now, if you need help getting to where I'm at right now, you can watch the video showing you how to remove the brakes, and it'll show you how to get this to this point. My video for that, you can find it by searching YouTube for Fixbook Quest Brakes. You'll find that video showing you how to remove the front brakes on this Nissan Quest. This is 2005. Again, Fixbook Quest Brakes. Search that on YouTube and you will find the video you need to get you to this point. Now, the key thing to getting to this point, to where you can break this nut loose if you don't have an impact, is what you'll have to do. Since this wheel comes with a hubcap that doesn't let you take a center cap out, what you'll have to do is you'll have to remove the lug nuts, then you'll remove the hubcap, then you'll put your wheel back on, and then you will let the car down on the wheel with the hubcap off. Then you should be able to see this guy right here, and what you'll do is you'll come over here, and we're starting our project now. Step 1, remove this little cotter pin, and basically you just take a pair of dikes or side cutters, and we're going to get this guy into a position to where we can remove him, and then we'll be able to remove this nut here. And sometimes it's a tough little booger. So there we go, I've got him straightened out there. Now I'll just come on the bottom and I'll just wedge. And there we go. Now we can work on getting our axle nut removed.
Okay, so now I'm working on getting my nut off, and I was really not wanting to have to put my wheel back on. I was hoping I could just impact it off. My impact would not remove this nut. So another way, if you guys have a big pry bar like this, you can avoid having to put your wheel back on. It may come off for you. It didn't even come back off for me with this pry bar here. So I'm gonna put the wheel back on, set it on the ground. I've got my big 1/2-inch drive thing there with my jack thing on the end there, and I've been pushing with that thing there, the pry bar sitting there to prevent the wheel hub assembly from spinning, in an effort to remove this axle nut. And like I said, that didn't work. So I'll put the wheel back on and we'll see if I can't get that axle nut off. Hey guys, I finally broke it loose. The way I did it was I had it sitting on the ground, and I ended up using this 1/2-inch drive ratchet and this big old bar, because check it out, my breaker bar has been destroyed. I've never broken a breaker bar before, so that's pretty neat right there. So yeah. So anyways, moving on. We'll move on to our next step. Alright, we've got our axle nut off there. Next thing we're going to want to do, you'll notice your wheel hub assembly is kind of pointing straight out, nice and perpendicular there. What we're going to do is get in the car, turn the steering wheel all the way so your wheel hub assembly is kind of pointing that way. So you're going to get in the car and turn the wheel left.
Okay, so there's 4 fasteners holding your wheel hub assembly in. I can't get my camera back here to show you. I'll show you when I get it pulled out. But for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like when you get a socket and extension in there on your fastener. So there's the top one, and we're going to get to 3 of these bolts with the hub assembly turned this way, and then we'll get to that last bolt. We'll get in the car, turn the steering wheel all the way right, So it'll be pointing this way, and we'll get to that last one back this way. So that's what it looks like when it's set up there. The bottom one here, it's setting on that bolt. And then let's see if I can reach the other back one here. You may or may not be able to see it, but let's see. There we are. So if you can see that, that is the other bolt as well. So we're gonna remove those three, turn our steering wheel right, and get to that last bolt. Okay guys, now I've got my 3 bolts out that I just showed you. You can see there's no thing there, and then you can see I've still got this other one in, but I've got the ratchet set up on that other bolt, and that is what it'll look like when you've got it set up on the right bolt there. So go ahead and remove that bolt, and I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, now once you get the 4 mounting bolts out, you're going to have to do some skillful hammering. And basically what I mean by that is you'll take your hammer, you're going to be beating on the one side, come to this side, come to the bottom, and this guy sets in there really tightly, so you just have to beat around, and it'll take maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So just anticipate that time. You're gonna have to spend hammering this guy out. So once I actually get him out, I'll show you what it's gonna look like. Okay guys, so now I've hit it out far enough to where it's just hung up on our axle now. So you push on the axle, kind of pull. Now you can see our axle fell down, and this guy's dangling around this, okay? You're just gonna keep on pulling, and with your thumb, you can push in. And if that's not working, I'm just gonna go ahead and tap on the axle. Axle in there. Alright. There we go. So, that's your wheel hub assembly, and we'll take them out, and now I'll show you what you need to know for putting your new one in. Okay guys, now it's important that you make sure you put your new wheel hub assembly back in the correct way, because of this guy right here. It's your wheel speed sensor, and basically this guy can go on 2 different ways. This is our new wheel hub assembly, and you can put it on the wrong way, but it will fit. The holes will line up both ways, but basically you can see we've got 3 different cutouts here, and that's what we have to match up. So what you want to do is first try and take note of how yours came out. But what I've done is I'm looking at these 2 things right here, and in reference to the vehicle wheel speed sensor. Now if I turn it this way, and now if I have my wheel hub assembly spun this way, we can see this piece right here is sitting down too far. Now if I spin it around like that, we can see our cutout is up higher, and that's going to match up with our wheel speed sensor right here. So again guys, make sure you remove that wheel speed sensor. So just make sure your cutout here for your wheel speed sensor is in the right place before you try and go about installing your wheel hub assembly. Now I'll show you what's next. Okay guys, now this thing goes back on pretty easily, but I'm going to talk you through the last 2 steps I did there. First, make sure you got your guard on here, because it's going to be off and you don't want to put that on without having this guy on. Next, what I did on the axle spindle, the part where it's got grooves in there, is I sprayed some PB Blaster, or you can use liquid wrench as well, because it kind of makes it a little bit easier coming through that hole there. So you can reach back with your left hand and grab onto this big axle thing right there, and then with your right hand you can hold this piece and kind of guide it through. It makes it kind of easy. Then once you get it in there, you're gonna notice it doesn't just push right in there. So what you'll want to do is grab your axle nut, stick it here on the end of your axle, and while you're holding here, kind of go ahead and get that tight so the axle is kind of close to the wheel hub. You don't have to tighten it real tight, just get it so it's easier to put this on and it's closer. Then what you'll do is you will go ahead and kind of push this guy forward, push this guy forward with your right hand. With your left hand, reach back there with one of those bolts, stick it through there, and get that started, and then start all 4 of those bolts, the fasteners holding your wheel hub assembly in. Then you're going to tighten them in sequence, so the wheel hub assembly is being pulled on evenly. It's important to do that sequence so it doesn't get in there cockeyed or something like that. So once you do that, just tighten those 4 fasteners good and tight, and that's pretty much it guys. Just remember to torque down your axle nut as well. Here in just a minute I'll give you that axle nut torque spec, and then we won't forget our cotter pin as well. So we'll hear that in just a second. Alright guys, so like I said, get your torque wrench and your 32mm socket on the axle nut. It's 92 foot-pounds. That's the torque you're going to torque this guy to. And basically, if you've never used a click style torque wrench, you can pick one up at Harbor Freight for like 20 bucks. At least that's where I got this one. Basically, you'll spin this until it lines up with the numbers, and you'll make it 92 foot-pounds. And then you'll go ahead and get on here and righty-tighty it until this clicks. Once this clicks, you've reached your torque on your bolt. So there you go. That's going to conclude today's video. Just make sure you put everything back on there. I didn't show me putting the cotter key back in there, but you just stick that thing through there, take your pliers, pull the one side and the other side, and basically that's just, if this nut ever comes loose, it'll stop it from coming out. That's the point of the cotter pin. So yeah, it's going to conclude today's project. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch all my new videos, which publish Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will see you then.